Is the camera on?
The
Is
camera's
the camera
on.
on? Camera's on. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Clocks Running, the podcast, everything flag football officials. I'm really weighed down right now.
You said you're really weighed down right now?
Yeah, like I've just got all these medals, all these sweet medals on right now. I'm just really weighed down right now.
Where do you get all of those medals?
Well, when you're a champion like me, or you go. This one's from some youth thing. This one's from the Camel City Draft Tournament back in 1492. That's the youth thing again. This one's from the 2021 Charlotte Major. This one's from the Orlando Major.
Wait, but are any of those from a novice division?
I think so. Hold on. This is from the XFL Open. This was from the Charlotte Major again. I think I was a big winner there. This one just says gold. I think my mom gave me this one. I'm always a gold star in her eyes. This one's from Worlds last year.
This is
See
crazy.
what else we got. That's another one from Worlds. I got a lot going on here. Check out the youth bling. I got little nugget, gold nugget, and platinum nugget.
Nice.
This one's from Worlds in 2023. This one doesn't have anything on it. This one says 2016. That was a good year for something. I don't know what. That's the world record one. So,
nice. Yeah, that's good.
I got a lot going on here, man. What's going on with you?
Yeah.
Where's your medals?
Well, it's funny you should ask. I wasn't as prepared as you were, but this is a 3-on-3 medal from like '97. Here's a '96 Pepsi Cup medal.
What's a Pepsi Cup?
It's a soccer tournament in Denver, Colorado.
Well, that's not flag football.
Well, I only have soccer medals. I don't have any novice flag football. Oh, this is a good one. I ran the Wild West Relay.
West Relay?
Yeah, in 2016. So it's a 24-hour relay, and you have a team of 8, and you have every person running has 3 legs. So hold on, every 3 legs in the race, okay? And my first my first leg was like 19 miles, and then the second one was like 8 hours later, and it was like 18 miles, and then the third one was
run 18 and 19 miles.
Yeah, and then the third one was like the shorter one, and that was like 12 miles.
So you did 3/4 of a marathon, 3/4 of a marathon, half marathon.
Yeah.
So you did 2 marathons.
Yeah, in 24 hours.
Gross.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. So it's all through the mountains. So like the first one I did was like a pure incline, and then at the end there was this sharp decline, and I got so excited because I saw my teammate, and my knee completely buckled out from under me when I like tagged them, and then I still had to run the other 2 because I had been training for like 9 months for this. It's like because I worked for a nonprofit and we were raising money, so it's a way that you raise money. People sponsor the runners. It's like a really, really big deal.
We got to talk about better ways to raise money. You ran a lot.
Yeah, yeah, and I wasn't even the one that ran the most. There were other runners that were like actual marathon runners, but people like they try to complete it. Like we were like one of the last teams to finish. Like we were not, and we finished just at 24 hours. But there were teams that finished within like 16 hours or 18 hours.
So you didn't have to take the whole 24 hours. It just took you 20. It took you 24 hours to do it.
Oh yeah, I mean it could take you as long as you want, but they want teams to finish at the latest 24 hours because then there's like a big party up in Steamboat Springs for it. So anyway, probably talk about flag football though.
Okay, let's talk about it.
So first and foremost, just checking in with. We are live on Facebook, YouTube, and here on Instagram. People are already commenting. John Garcia thinks you're an idiot, Jacob, for some reason. Rock said, "What up,
So
Bull?"
rude.
So
So rude.
but we got lots of people on Instagram right now. So hit the chat. I see DK. I see Juan, Rock. We got all kinds of people from coast to coast, all over the world. This is amazing. So I think we should get into the show, man.
Let's do it.
All right, cool. So we got two guests tonight. You wanna introduce our first guest?
Let's talk about it. This is the Mr. Bionic Man. This is currently a 6-man national champion, right? That's who's coming on first. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. He's got to be one of the most built for flag contact guys. Bring on Mr. Artie.
What's up, Artie?
What up? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we got you, man.
Yep.
What's up, man?
Nothing much, man. Just hanging out.
Yeah.
There we go. You're
thanks
probably
for-
still recovering from the weekend a little bit, huh?
Actually, man, I'm actually feeling pretty good. I'm feeling a lot better than I thought. Knee's still a little sore, but overall, man, I'm feeling good.
One more session of WD-40 and that thing will be good to go, brother.
Fuck, man, I'm telling you, bro. It's rough, man. Ever since my first major knee surgery, it just seems like everything's just going haywire now. I mean, I can't complain, bro. To be able to still play at the level that I do, considering what I put my knees through. I mean, I was a catcher for like 24 years of my life for baseball. So to put my knees through that, to be where I'm at now, I consider that a blessing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. So let's get into that history a little bit. Every time we have a new guest on, we just want to give you the chance to kind of share your origin story and what got you into flag and has brought you to this point. So the floor is yours, Artie.
Man, I grew up playing baseball, bro. Really, I played a little bit of football, but my main sport was baseball. Went to college for baseball, played in the minors a little bit for baseball. So just my whole life, revolved around baseball. And, you hear a lot about that post-athlete depression. And, man, let me tell you, that thing is real, bro. Because when I was done playing baseball, when I retired, I did not know what to do with myself. You go from having your day structured every day, like, you wake up at this time, this is what you're going to eat, your workouts, I know it's baseball, but we still watch film, we still study, we still, watch pitchers that we're going to go up against, all that stuff, man. So everything was just staged throughout my day. And you go from that to actually doing nothing. It's like, yeah, you get in a deep depression. And, my buddy Gianni's the one that got me into flag, bro. They actually needed a quarterback one night. And he was like, hey, man, you have a good arm. He's like, you want to come throw for us? I was like, yeah, I don't care, man. I'll try it out. And I think out of the 40 plays we ran, I ran the ball 38 times. I think I only threw 2 passes that night. So it took a little bit of getting used to, man. But 8-man was my very first, introduction into flag football. Toyed with that for a little bit. And I can be honest, man, my early years, I really didn't take flag football serious because I actually started playing softball. So in the softball world, they have the equivalent of what I would say USA Flag isn't at that level, but it's called the USSSA conference ball.
Yep.
And so I played at the conference level for, I want to say 8 years. I made it all the way up to the major level. So I was on a major team playing there, bro. And it's completely different, man. With flag, you have so many different formats. So Arlington, we went out and played different formats. We were out there for 3 days playing. While with softball, it's one tournament. You got all the best teams there, and you literally start Friday night and you play all the way to Sunday. So it's not you just don't have a second chance at another format.
Right.
So if you lose, you're out. So, but that was a blessing, man, because that one was easy on the pockets because I was sponsored. They paid me. They paid for everything, my flights, my food, rental car, everything like that. And then I started taking, I would say, flag serious probably right around I would say 2019. I stopped playing softball. Really started playing 8-man here in Colorado at a high level. That's when like the best of the best was at its peak. You know, the competition was really good here. And then fast forward to 2023 is when I really jumped into small ball. But I have to give a shout out. You mentioned DK earlier. DK is actually the one that really introduced me to small ball. So back when COVID was going on, they had a couple tournaments out in Mesquite, Nevada.
Yeah.
And DK had, I don't know if you guys remember AZ Union. But yeah,
Yep.
so I went out. That I actually got my two first national championships with AZ Union.
Oh, okay.
And dude, like, so DK, I love my boy DK, man. We talk so much crap to each other on the field, bro. But that's my guy, bro. I love DK. Nothing but love and respect for that guy. But he's the one that put me on. That team folded. I don't know what happened to it, but you know, shout out to him for putting me on. But then after I ruptured my quad tendon off my kneecap in 2021. So I had to have that surgery. And then 16 months later, I had another surgery. They took out my meniscus. I had cartilage damage. I had bone spurs. There was a lot wrong in my left knee. So I was just at a point in my life, man, where I was like, you know what? I'm done. Like, I don't want to go through this anymore. That's when the Colorado scene really started dying down around then, like competitive wise. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not really going to go out, risk anything for some BS. Sam hit me up and he's like, hey man, I want to start this small ball team. He's like, I want you to come out and throw. And so I was like, well, let's see who we can get. And, you know, so in 2023, April of 2023 was our first tournament out in Vegas as a small ball team. And we ended up winning fives contact that tournament as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, you know, it's funny, man, because a lot of like with your journey and everything, I mean, man, when I was still playing 2019, 2020, because 21 is when I blew my knee out. So those couple years before it, man, I had so much, like, rushing you was such a challenge. So anytime I matched up against you, I was having a blast. And you know, you would put Dilly in front of me. You had other, you know, linemen, and man, with 8-man, like 2019, 2020, like that, it really was. That was the peak of it. Best of the best. Like there was that action going on in Colorado, and it really did, like, just out of nowhere. It just kind of nosedived. So
Yeah.
but you know, getting you out on the national scene and the small ball, and seeing what y'all have been able to do these last couple of years. I mean, y'all won sixes at Worlds. You guys have you know, racked up a couple of national championships at the Denver Open this past summer. You guys swept. You know, so you guys have, yeah. And then this past weekend, you know, y'all won sixes as well. So you know, kind of fast forward into that. Let's get into Arlington a little bit. Talk to us. How was this past weekend? You know, of course, winning one, but how was the whole weekend?
The weekend as a whole, I'll be honest, man. If we didn't win sixes, it was just going to be a terrible weekend. We played. What did we play? We played 5-man contact on Friday morning. 5-man air it out Friday, and there was a 5-man non-contact on Saturday, and we just shit the bed in all three of them. I'll be honest, man. I played terrible. That's probably the worst I've played all season, all year since I started small ball. Just mentally, man, I was all over the place, to be completely honest. I let my team down. So, you know, I take a lot of those losses on me. Our trip didn't start out great either. Everybody on our team, bro, on Thursday, like everybody's flight got delayed.
Yep.
I thought we were going to crash landing in Arlington. We were coming in, and all of a sudden we took back off. Our plane got struck by lightning, and then all kinds of turbulence. I mean, to the point, man, I was texting my wife like, hey, I got to tell you I love you right now. I was texting my daughter. Like, bro, I'm not going to lie, man. I was scared, bro. I was scared. It was bad. So I think that kind of set the tone in the beginning, because we were all kind of checked out like that. And then with all the rain, I'm texting Mark V and I'm like, hey bro, how's the weather over there? Because the fields, because I'm like, these fields got to be trashed. Like they got to be trashed. And luckily they weren't, man. Thankfully they weren't. But I think just all of us talking about that, we just mentally put ourselves already behind at a disadvantage. So we just, shit the bed in first 3 formats, and then Sunday morning came out and just bounced back, man. That's one thing I can say about my guys is I got a lot of dudes, pretty much everybody on my team, bro, is just very resilient and being able to bounce back and forgetting yesterday. I know baseball helped me with that is, any other sport you go 3 for 10, you're cut or you're benched. Baseball, you go 3 for 10, you're in the Hall of Fame. So, that's my mentality, true. Man, is like, I just got to keep moving. But no, it was good, man. It was really good to see that level of competition. I think it was a great tune-up tournament to get us ready for Worlds. To be honest, man, I've seen more competition at this tournament than I have at Worlds, in the past. And so, it was really good to see those guys out there. It was really good for me to see that kind of a rush, bro. We were talking about it at, at the Airbnb, and no knock against anybody from Colorado, but just the type of elite rushers that I went up against this past weekend it's a night and day difference. It really is. Colorado's so far behind in small ball that it's a disadvantage for us because these guys have been playing for years, man. So they know the ins and outs, they know the game that well. And here, I mean, we don't have one league that is legitimately a 5-man league with USA Flag rules. We have a 5-man league, and it has some USA Flag rules, but you can't jump. And there's little rules like that, and it hurts us, it hinders us. So because we get used to playing that. Like I was talking to Samp earlier, there's a 6-man tournament coming up. And I was like, hey, you want to get in that just to get moving? And he made a good point. He's like, dude, that is it going to help us or is it going to hurt us? Because everything we do there is not going to translate into what we're going to do at Worlds. Even the competition, the game style, the way the game's played, everything, like they don't, all that stuff. So, but it was really good to see that type of competition and what I'm going to be seeing and going into Worlds because it taught me a lot. Ant, I always pick your brain, bro. You always help me with everything. And, little unknown fact, I was actually Ant's quarterback for a short time with TMC. So I got to give a shout out to my boy Ant too, man. That's my brother. He helped put me on, and he helps me a lot with the game, man. So thank you for that, Ant. I appreciate that, brother.
Yeah, no, absolutely. At the end of the day, I know I've been all over this country, and I'm in Ohio. I was in Cali, but my heart's always going to be with Colorado. That's the Bears are, their family, and we've played together one way or another. And yeah, we had a short little run with TNC. You had to get stuff fixed up for your knee, and honestly, to see you bounce back and win that tournament in Vegas, like. I had already left to California, but it was like I was cheering for you guys. I was reffing 2 fields down, but I was cheering for you guys, and I was happy to see you bounce back like that. So, it's what I've noticed in general with small ball is teams that are very, very successful in contact, they'll struggle in non-contact, or vice versa. How do you guys as a team kind of balance playing both non-contact and contact?
I think a lot of that showed this weekend. We did struggle in non-contact, and contact we did really good. A couple missed plays during 5-man contact, a couple missed flags, a couple missed throws by me. Under throws on some guys hurt us. But to balance that, it's just finding the right personnel, man. Guys that Samp is really good on defense, where he finds guys that like contact, but can also play non-contact. The one thing I tell everybody that asks me the difference between small ball and all that, I was like, in small ball, you can't hide nobody. If you suck, you suck. Like you can't hide that. So it's just finding those guys that, can, it's like going from softball, hitting a underhand slow pitch to hitting a baseball. Like that's how I look at it. Because typically in contact, man, usually the more physical team wins. And so, because you can just bully people down the field. But we have a lot of versatile people on our team. Like we call him Onk, but Jordan Willis, man, that dude's a problem, bro. Like
Yeah.
he's strong, he's big, he's like basically a tight end that can block and run, dude. Like, and it's getting guys like that. We brought out Samp brought his nephew Jeremiah for the first time, and he killed it out there, man. I think he had like a 50-yard screenplay to him up the sideline, and he took it to the house, bro. So and for me, the biggest difference is I have to be able to throw my guys open in non-contact, because the DBs are so good, man, at breaking on the ball and, being able to read what I do. And I think that's kind of helps me compared to some other quarterbacks, because I have a baseball arm. So I throw from different angles. I do no-look passes. I do a lot of stuff like that. But I do notice, like with the non-contact, the DBs are a lot more elite. They're a lot quicker. They're handsy without being handsy, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Like they can cover a guy on the hip without getting a PI called on them. So that's the biggest difference for me, is I gotta be better at throwing my guys open and trusting my guys.
Yeah, no, and there's definitely a level. This is something you touched on about the fact that, like, Colorado being so far behind, outside of the PF3, which the PF3 only runs for 16 weeks out of the year. There's not high level pro competition, and you're running into teams out of Texas or Florida that play 7 days a week, 365. I mean, they are playing in top level leagues. They're playing against each other all the time. Like you look at teams like Nas and MIA and YTG. All those teams see each other multiple times a month, and so they're constantly being able to face each other. Where with Colorado, you have to travel to be able to get that competition, and it definitely it poses those challenges. Jacob, what have you seen as far as have you seen one team be successful in contact and non-contact for a period of time? What do you think?
I mean, I could go with the homers. I got to talk about my guys Becks, but there's more than just them. I think, to me, contact players, once they get out of their own heads about playing contact and get on a non-contact field, they do just fine. And they can. I think it translates better than non-contact players going to contact, because it's one thing to have to go, okay, I can't touch them. You can adjust your mind that way, but for when somebody puts their hands on you and not being able to react, like that's a whole different mentality. So I think and I told George this years ago. I've told Pat years ago. Like, there's a lot of really good contact players that would be successful in non-contact. They just got to get over there and play. Artie has a really great team that can do both. And they can plug and play, no one's just, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong. It seems like nobody's just on the contact team, or just for the contact form. You may have one or two, but for the most part, your guys are pretty versatile enough to, you guys all travel down. You guys all play all the styles together.
Yeah, we have like maybe two linemen that don't play,
Makes sense.
that's because they're linemen. But other than that, but we also in Colorado, I'll tell you what we're very limited on is, you brought up Bex, is finding linemen like that. Like we just don't have that here, man. Ants has been here. We just dude, last year we were playing hard target, and my God, dude, those two linemen that they have, holy shit, bro. Like,
Yeah,
dude, those dudes were killing us, bro, us. And they just, anybody they went against, bro, basically it was like they were NFL tight ends. They put on 40 pounds to go out there and block. And we don't have that here.
They're a problem downfield too.
It's a freight train, bro.
Yep.
Like nobody wants to get in front of that.
I can't think of. And Chico, those two.
Yeah.
They'll put you on your ass, turn around, catch the ball, and go 20 yards. And hit it with a hip move that somebody who's 150 pounds should be able to do.
Yeah, and we just don't have that here, man. I mean, I'm trying to think. Like, I was sitting with Samp, and we were just talking about, hey, do we have anybody that's like that? We really don't. Like, and it's crazy. So we have to find those versatile guys, man. And I would say in our core group, we have about 18 guys, and our biggest thing is just buying in, man. Like, you got to buy in. You know, my offense, like I tell my guys, like, hey, I'm always the first one to own up to what I do. If I make a bad pass, I tell my guys, hey, that's on me. If if they were open and I missed them, hey, that's on me. But each individual person needs to be able to hold themselves accountable for what they do and what they don't do. And you can't have eye guys, man. That kills your team more than anything. I don't care how good you are. If you're an eye guy, it just destroys the chemistry on your team. And everybody goes through that. Like, even
Yep.
I'll go through it. Like, we all go through it. It's just human beings, man. It's just nature to be like, hey, I do this, I did this. But at the end of the day, man, it's we have this, like, it's kind of like our motto, like, no one's above the team. And we have a really good core group of guys that we all respect each other and everything like that. And also at the same time, like, even when we play here, like, we'll play tournaments together, but there's like 4 different teams that we all play on, so we all don't play with each other consistently.
Right.
And so I think sometimes, like, especially with me, chemistry wise, the game is so, like, even in contact as opposed to non-contact, it's so much different the way the routes run. I mean, you guys have watched us. We're not a true flaggy team. We're really not. We're still learning.
Right.
I'm still learning, and I watch people all the time, man. I mean, even though I'm old, bro, I'm 43, but I'm still learning. And so, but I'm always out there watching, like, okay, how does this guy do? How does he set his deep routes as opposed to his short routes, as opposed to his mid-range routes? Like, how is he setting up the defense to jump one way? Because, there's a couple times I'm like, damn, man, how do they get somebody so wide open like that?
Yeah.
And I have to watch how it sets up. And, I'm getting better at being a more pocket passer and letting the rusher get deeper on me before I let the ball go or before I try to run.
Right.
So I'm actually getting better on that to allow the route to open up. And that's where I have to be better at throwing my guy open. Like, hey, I trust my guy's going to be there. But that just comes with years of playing together. And, a lot of these teams have it up on us. I mean, if you really want to think about it, we're still a baby team, man. We're what, 2.5 years into this small ball.
Yeah,
And,
but you guys have had a lot of success in those couple of years. Yeah. I mean, people know the name. Like, it's not like you guys have hopped in and kind of been middle of the pack and maybe had a couple tournaments where you're at the top. You guys are a consistently good team, though. And
I attribute that to just my guys, man. Offensively, bro, I have some guys that are just straight dogs, man. And when they're locked in, bro, I'll put them up against anyone.
Sure.
My guy Crowder, Eli's probably one of the fastest dudes I've ever met in my life, man. He's 5'2", but that dude's fast.
Yeah, I was about to say, you got 2 collegiate track stars on your offense, bro. That's always gonna be good.
Yeah. And Eli, dude, I love Eli to death, but he wants to make people miss, and I'm always like, bro, just put your foot in the ground and go. And because, I mean, dude, he just tried out for the Colorado Spartans, and at their pro tryout, he ran a 4.3. And
oh, wow.
So, dude, like, I hear people all the time talking about they run 4.3s and 4.2s, but people don't realize how fast that really is.
Yeah.
Like, dude, if you run a 4.5, you're fast.
Yep.
And so, but Eli runs a true 4.3. And I tell him, dude, catch the ball and go. Like, nobody's going to catch you. Just go. Right. Just hit the gas. But no, we got some dogs as receivers. And I have to say, dude, my boy Tweezy, like, he's my center. He's probably the true flaggiest dude on our team. Like, he really knows the small ball game. He knows how to get open. He knows how to make people miss. So he's the true, like, the most flaggiest dude we do have on our team. But everybody else now is finally starting to get along. But I think, that early success that we had is just because everybody bought in. Everybody played their 1/5, or their 1/6, whatever it was. And that's what you got to do, man. You got to trust that the guy next to you is going to do his job.
Absolutely.
Like, my guys got to understand, like, bro, you might only get 1 pass this game, but next game you might get 20. Like, that's right. Just how it. But as long as we win, that's all we care about. And so we got a lot of guys that bought in, man. Sam's built something special, man. So we're hoping we can keep this run going.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I got to bring it up. We got 2, somewhat me included, but 2 really big contact guys right here on this screen. So I want to talk about it. Tone mentioned it in the chat on Instagram. he wanted to know who runs contact. So let's talk about it. This past weekend, we can't really say that it was one or the other. There was not a clean sweep, but we had the DMV won fives and Colorado, the West Coast, won sixes. So, Artie, what do you think about the landscape of contact? Who's got the most dominating region?
I'll be honest, man. The East Coast does, because that's what they've grown up on, man. That's what they were born and bred on, is that the contact game. The farther you get west, it starts getting more non-contact, and even the rules are different. Like, they let you get away with a lot of stuff on the East Coast, and the West Coast, man, they'll call it,
Yeah.
And so that's even the biggest thing that I've seen as well. But you know what, man, I don't even know if I'm considered West Coast. I don't know if we're more Midwest, but I would honestly have to give the nod to regionally wise and who has dominated more in the past, and championship wise and world champs is probably East Coast, which you guys got to understand too. So if I might piss some people off, but I'm still new to this too, so I really don't know too much about the landscape, only from what I've seen and what I've heard.
Yeah.
No,
I think there's definitely more history on the East Coast, but it is cool to see, like, you see how things in Colorado are. You see how things I'll go as far north as saying Minneapolis. Like, they play a lot of sixes up there. Arizona's got a contact scene that's, I think it's kind of changed a bit. But even California they have some contact teams. They play, was it tough out there? It's interesting to see how different places have responded. If you go strictly by championships and stuff like that, Artie's right. It's the East Coast. And it's kind of been in waves of, the Carolinas ran it for a while. The DMV had their run. Their DMV's on top right now. But at the end of the day, it's anybody's game. I look at what, like, take Worlds, for instance. I look at that list and it's wide open right now. There's a lot of good teams. So
yeah,
I'm excited to see how that play out.
Like you said, anyone can win it. And I mean, even what we did this past weekend, man, like, I didn't even have a true line. Like, if you watched our games, I ran a spread most of the time.
Yeah.
Which I don't see a lot of teams doing contact.
Not now. It's interesting to see, because it went from there always being a lineman or two linemen in contact to then it completely spread out.
Yeah.
The blocking back went away. And then it went back to, they started adding that blocking back again. It's interesting to see how the styles and stuff, how it recycles back in.
I think too, the dynamic of quarterback has changed as well.
Yep. Agreed.
You got a lot more running quarterbacks as opposed to actually true throwing quarterbacks. And so, when you go against a quarterback that is a mixture of both and balanced, that's hard to defend. I consider myself more balanced. I don't consider myself a true runner or a true passer. I'm just thankful, I'm blessed enough to have a strong arm to be able to throw from anywhere on the field to any point on the field. So that's what really helps me, is I'm more balanced. But most of the guys I watch, man, some of these quarterbacks, dude, they're insane, dude, how fast they are.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Free Smoke this past weekend, they added Tone, they had Corey Webb, so they had a couple extra pieces to get the championship. But yeah, I mean, Tone is a perfect example of a quarterback.
Yeah.
He's got speed, he's got an arm on him. But yeah, looking at the world's bracket, I mean, I think this past weekend was a good preview, because the games there were a couple blowouts here and there, but the games were all really close. When we got into sixes on Sunday, I mean, there were a couple overtime games. There was, I think, in the quarterfinals, it was 3 of the games came down to the last play, and the 4th one was an overtime game. So you can't beat that kind of action. New Dynasty, I think, is trying to figure themselves out a little bit, because they've kind of looked at, in my opinion, I feel like they've looked at y'all and said, okay, yeah, we want to do non-contact and contact as well, and they're trying to figure out how to balance that. And so I think that's kind of their struggle lately. We had one Carolina team there. Is that like an all-star team, Jacob? mind yet?
No,
Or?
I mean the Reaper. I mean they pick up for when they travel like that, but I think they had their core guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like you think they were the 1 seed both brackets. They were in the semis
Yeah.
both brackets. They made the finals in
Yeah.
5s.
They took us down to the last play in 6s.
Yep.
You
So,
know,
I
my
mean,
boy
like
Don dropped back and knocked the 2-point conversion down to tie it. So yeah. And the game before that, they went into overtime. Was it overtime they went into with New Dynasty?
no, they beat them at the very end.
Oh,
Last
okay.
play. Yeah.
Yep, last
Okay.
play they tied it up. Yeah. I mean, it's just a lot of good talent.
Yeah.
And you know, I've even from 2 years ago, man, what I've noticed too is like the talent has like doubled since from
Yeah.
about when I started playing small ball. And it's good to see, man. It's really good to see the sport growing like it is.
Yep.
You know, because before you mentioned flag football and people are like, oh, you know, flag football. I'm like, no, dude, come out here and see what I go through.
Right.
Because like,
yeah.
you know, people ask me, you know, here in Colorado, you know, how these tournaments are. And I'm like, dude, you got to think about like nobody travels to bullshit. Like, you know, nobody travels to go out there and just say, hey, we're going to have fun. Like, no, dude, like you're bringing your best. You go against someone's best every game.
Yep.
And I mean, like Nuketown, dude, I'll give those guys a shout out. I never even heard of them. They whooped our ass. And, you know, they had 6 guys. And so, but they were a super flaggy team. You know what I mean? Like, and I always give credit to people, you know, when I watch and see them. Like you brought up Bex, dude. The first time we played Bex, they put it on us. You know, my boy Jose over there. I mean, that dude's a manimal, bro.
Yeah,
like he's one of those dudes too, bro. He can snap, he can block, he can go out for a pass, he can run the ball, like he can do it all, man. And you know, guys like that, it's crazy to see. And I love seeing that. You know, I love seeing how this game has exploded. I wish there was more stuff towards Colorado, closer to Colorado, to be honest. You know, but I also got to give a shout out to my wife, man. She lets me do a lot of stuff, man. She lets me travel a lot. Like unfortunately she didn't make Arlington, but before I was leaving, I was like, because this is the first tournament she's not ever not gone to.
Oh, wow.
So I'll be honest, man. Like it kind of affected me because I'll be honest, man. I'm not one of these guys that's afraid to say he loves his wife, but like she's my crutch, bro. She knows how to calm me down when, you know, I'm overbearing. And so not having her out there was affecting me a little as well. But before I left, I was like, hey, you know, I'm kind of sad you're not going. Like she's like, no, it's not. This is not the time to be sad. Like you got to lock in. And so, you know, so I'm like, yeah, she's the one. She's the one. Even when I was out there, I called her and I was like, I suck today. And she's like, what's going on? Are you just not locked in? She's like, are you not focused? Like you need to fix it. Like this needs to be fixed. And so, you know, so I just have to give her a shout out, man. That's awesome.
For sure.
I think we can all say, like, at least on the guys' side, like the wives that let us go out and do our thing and be out there, man, they're the real MVPs.
They are, bro.
There's a lot of people who whose significant others would look at something like this and think we were insane for wanting to do what we do. And you know, I see so many of the spouses out there that are out there being supportive and all this other, and that's husbands too, and boyfriends.
Yeah.
You know? So to the women that are playing. So shout out to all of them. You bring that up.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, no.
Go ahead.
Oh no, you know, last week we talked about, or a couple weeks ago we talked about the buddy. There's always a buddy that introduced us to flag football, but absolutely, I think the significant others play such a big role in supporting the fact that we want to spend all this money, we want to invest all this time practicing, you know, doing all these things, and there, you know, there's not massive money prizes. There's, you know, probably 0.5% of players that get actually sponsorships and things like that. So it's a very thankless sport in that sense.
Yeah.
So I think the significant others keep us going for sure.
They do, bro. You know, like I said, what I love about her most is if she's at the game and she sees me kind of swerving away from what I originally had game planned. She'll take me aside and like she'll just say something to me, man. It kind of relocks me in. It kind of refocuses me. So no, that's huge, man. You know, to all the wives out there that support their husbands in this, like you said, Jake, like that's huge, bro. Because I mean, this does take time, man. It's like having another full-time job. It really is.
Kid.
Yeah.
And so, but no, man, like going back to Arlington and how it was out there, it taught me a lot. It really did. It showed me where we stand and against some of these teams. And, I'll go down to my dying day, bro. When my guys are on point, man, even when we're struggling, I'll still put my guys up against anyone. And I think we can play against anybody and we can beat anybody. We have that good of a team where guys will just make plays when we need them to. But I do wish Colorado had more stuff that was geared towards small ball. We have one director here, and we'll talk to her. Her name's Roxy, man, and I'll be like, hey, can you throw a tournament for us, to help us get ready? And she's like, yeah. And the only bad part is, man, like once teams find out we get in, they really don't want to get in. Like there's a handful of teams out here, man, that a couple of them are going to Worlds, like underrated. They're new, but they have some really good talent on that team. It's run by my boy Country. They have some really good talent on that team. Rio's out here. Whenever Mario puts a team in a tournament, man, he always puts a good together team in. And he's dude, he knows small ball. He knows the ins and outs of it. He knows where to put guys. He knows where guys need to be. So there's a couple teams out here like Toy Story. They're a young little team, but they're always willing to play against us. So there's a couple teams, but for the most part, man, you'll see like the lower level leagues out here, and they'll get like 15 small ball teams, and then when a tournament happens, there's only like 4 of us.
Yeah.
And that, so it's like, okay, are we better off just practicing against each other? But then that hurts us in a sense too, because we're not flaggy enough to to be able to run concepts to what we're going to see out there. I was talking with Ant a couple of weeks ago at the Denver Open, and he brought up a good point. He goes, you got to think, man, these top teams at any given time, they have 2 or 3 quarterbacks on the field at all times.
Mm-hmm.
And so we don't have that here.
Right.
We have a handful of quarterbacks that are like truly flaggy quarterbacks. Most stuff out here is 8-man, and that's what a lot of these guys are built for, is 8-man. And I hate to say it, 8-man's running its course, man. It's dying slowly out here, but I like small ball way more.
Yeah,
I think that's where we're getting to as a country as well.
Yeah, even the best of the best, man. I remember at its peak there was 32 teams, almost 40 teams.
Yeah. Yep.
And now I think last year we had 8 or 9.
Oh wow.
And so it's across the board, it's dying. So we'll see in the future, but most likely, man, like we're gearing up for Worlds right now. Everybody's kind of refocusing, relocking into Worlds, taking maybe a week or 2 off, let everybody rest, and then we'll get right back to practice.
Yeah,
absolutely.
For sure. Well, and I just want to, I want to say this to all the linemen out there. There is a place in small ball for linemen. What's the guy playing on Free Smoke? Is his name Rashad? I think that's his name. He probably had, in every game this past weekend, he had at least 1 touchdown of 30 yards, and literally him just putting his belly in front of himself, putting his arms up with the ball, and just plowing through everybody like that. Like we got to figure out how to get around his belly, pull the flag, and it worked. And so there is a place for linemen in small ball. You just play 6s, play 5s. Sometimes there are guys that play non-contact as well, and and then some play quarterback, things like that. So I just think it's time to let's just retire aids and these places. These regions that have 8 still, just focus your attention on small ball. You'll be able to save. You got less field space you got to use. You can have more teams. There's a lot of benefits to it. But Artie, we appreciate you coming on. Congratulations on winning 6s, and y'all were a point away from beating Mean Machine. They weren't aired out, so You guys almost did, go 2 for 3. But hey, in Major League Baseball, just like you said, 1 for 3 or 1 for 4, that's still a good batting average.
That's still solid.
I'll take that, man. At the end of the day, bro, when you come home with hardware, especially like, and I put it in my post on Facebook, man. I was like, I know there's a lot of dudes here in Colorado that were rooting for us to fail. Like we got a lot of haters here, man. It's crazy how much hate we get here. And like, one at our first Worlds in Tampa, literally there were some people from Colorado, bro, on the other side of the on the opposing team rooting against us. And dude, so it's crazy. But like you said, man, to the linemen out there, yeah, bro, it's and retire freaking triple threats already. I hate those things.
I hate hour talking about that.
I hate triple threats. No, but thank you guys for thank you guys for having me on, man. I really appreciate
you, Artie.
this. It's an honor to be on and chop it up with you fellas.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. All love, man. We'll see you in Tampa.
Yes, sir. Talk to you guys soon.
See you, man.
Later.
Oh man, I love talking contact. I just gotta say that, man. It's always fun.
Yeah, it is the best format.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, but hey, just there was all kinds of talk. Everybody kept. I don't know why can we just for a second? I don't know why they put all their direction towards you. They always want to ask you who runs contact. What all the questions always go to you.
You already know why that is. And that's okay. That's all right.
Nah, it was fun recording lives, having people comment. There was a lot of conversation about DMV this, Carolina this, and it was fun that the Sixes Contact Championship was neither DMV or Carolina. So
well, that's not fun. I don't know why you said that.
I thought it was fun. But anyway, we do have another guest tonight. He's been waiting patiently. We appreciate that. Why don't you give an introduction and I'll add him to it.
Hey, well, let's bring in Orlando's finest. Bring in a former North Carolina native, one of my favorite officials to have out with us, one of the most enthusiastic guys. Bring in Mr. Marcus Washington. Yeah, you.
Wait a minute. Y'all talking about me?
Yeah, we're talking about you.
Little old me. Oh, man, come on now.
Man.
You don't have to do all that. Y'all know I'm gonna be showing up to the next tournament, so y'all don't have to do all that praising, man. That is awesome.
Hey, man, I just like to, I like to practice my intros. I think they're okay. They're not bad. But there's nothing that I said that wasn't true.
Yeah, well, I mean, there is some truth to what you're saying there, my friend. So, I'm not gonna not accept those accolades because they're pretty nice. I like to hold it down for our Orange County crew here and make sure that we put on for our city and our state. So, really appreciate it, fellas.
Hey, so Marcus, so the way we start off with everybody who's new on the show, this is your first time. First of all, welcome to Clock's Running, the podcast, Everything Flag Football. I didn't get to say that earlier. I like to just go ahead and throw that in there now. 48 minutes later. But do us a favor. Tell the world about you. Tell us how you got tell us your superhero origin story. Tell us how you got started in flag. And tell us about that journey.
So I actually got started in flag in North Carolina. That was my first touch of flag football. Crazy enough, on what was the name of that? It was a weird app back in the day that you could do weird stuff on. And weird enough, I found some Craigslist. There we go, baby. It was on Craigslist. Yes, I kid you not. I was on Craigslist looking for stuff to do, and I found an ad in there that somebody was looking for a player for their flag team, and came out, met some really great people, had that family type atmosphere. And whenever I moved down to Florida, I had already grown a passion for the game in North Carolina. So when I came back to Florida, I just kind of picked up where I left off at, met a couple of great groups of people, and was able to do my thing there. But most importantly, the other side of playing flag was the officiating side, which Orlando local legend Karen kind of put me onto the officiating side with Winter Springs. with the Winter Springs League, and it's kind of ballooned up there to the FFFL, and then we went from FFFL to USA Flag, and I've been doing everything from IFAF to in anything national or international as far as flag is concerned. I've officiated it, so it's something that I've really been excited about, and I really appreciate the time and the energy that's not only been poured into me, but I've been able to pour into this game as well. So that's kind of like my origin story right there.
Absolutely, it's a good one.
Yeah,
Not bad, not
that
bad.
is, and I just want to clarify the fact that there is an Orange County in Florida.
There's an
'Cause
Orange
there's an
County
Orange County in
in North
California.
Carolina.
Really?
Yes, there is an Orange County in California, but as we always state, we are the real Orange County. They don't even grow
Okay, my
oranges in
bad.
California. Like,
Oh,
that's a Florida thing.
he said burn.
That's a Florida thing.
How
We're the
you feel
citrus
about
state.
that? Yeah,
I
he's the
mean,
citrus state. They have to have an Orange County. So, hey,
Okay.
Marcus, so this was a hot question for Couture this weekend. What came first, the orange or the orange?
Jesus Christ, that's a tough question. I'd have to say the orange.
Okay.
It's a very deep seated history there. But
I don't think there's any seeds in oranges, but we'll go with it.
there we
Yeah,
go.
there are. Come on.
Hey, whoa, first of all, I was just kidding. Relax. I was just trying to riff on
Simmer
what he
down,
said.
simmer down there, Ant. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm a little fired up.
I
know,
I
baby.
see that. So, Marcus, so you got to spend this weekend with us. We really appreciate all the hard work you put in. You did a lot of different formats. Why don't we talk about that? What was your favorite format? How did things go for you for the weekend? Like what was Arlington like for you? Did he freeze?
I think he did freeze.
He froze.
Yeah.
Bob
He's not
Saget.
moving. Did you just say Bob Saget?
Bob Saget. Yes, I did.
Okay. Yeah, he is a little frozen there. I think it was all the neon colors that he had in his
Hey, you know
background
what?
there.
Sometimes, like, you know,
Can you hear me?
we can hear you. Welcome
Okay, yeah.
back.
I can't say is what I feel like is Arlington as a whole. It's kind of like I feel like it's like the Super Bowl of flag football for people who refuse to get tackled. It is one of those things to where I've seen a lot of elite athletes come out. There's no avoidance of skill. It's a lot of cardio, chest, and chaos all thrown into one. And I think it's something that really is able to thrive amongst the younger crowd that's coming in, and then even the current crowd. One of the formats that I found that was very competitive that kind of caught me off guard was the women's Olympic style.
Okay.
That one was pretty competitive. And the sevens contact championship. Oh my goodness, that thing was a barn burner, man. Let me see here. So, of those, the one that I would probably say that took the cake, not only when it came to trash talking, but putting up some pretty hectic plays. I know for a fact one of those plays is going to be on somebody's TikTok highlighted. But the women's pro flag. Oh my goodness, they have some athletes out there. I am telling you now. Heck yeah.
Did he muted himself?
Yeah, I think he's got a little extracurricular. Yeah.
Yeah,
You back with us?
exactly. But I got my charger coming, so I'm good.
It's all good, man. It's all good. So we enjoyed Olympic. I think there for about the first 30 seconds, you cut out on us. So we missed that. But so Olympic was good, women's pro was good. What was your least favorite format to do this weekend?
You're going to be surprised to hear this. My least favorite format to do this weekend was probably the amateur. The amateur. Don't let me. The amateur fives man's no contact. That was probably the one right there.
Huh.
It's
So
so
for all of
funny.
our amateur players, why
Yeah,
were
and
they
it,
the
it
least?
wasn't even the amateur players. It was that I could see some of these guys were like D1 athletes, right? And there's nothing more humbling than a grown adult um, being juked by a 32-year-old bartender who literally has like 4 or 5 kids and is on his last ankle. So
Mm,
it's I
mm.
think it's kind of tough for them to swallow that pill. And it makes them want to push back a little bit more. So that's why I probably would have to say it was my least, just because when people get humbled, their true personality tends to come out a little bit,
And it's not
and
good.
it's like I get it, because in order for you to make it to D1, you have to have a certain level of competitiveness, right?
Sure.
So I totally get it. Whenever you're the apex predator, you're at the top of your game, and then you go to this thing that you're new to, and this individual who is twice your age, and also twice your body weight, is putting a clinic on you. So it's just it was just kind of tough being able to manage those egos and rein them in.
Definitely get
So
that.
it's funny you bring up the amateur division. The chat is going crazy right now. They're talking about sandbagging. They're saying that this past weekend there was way more sandbagging than usual. Jacob, uh, thoughts on that? What do you feel like that was a big complaint?
I mean, it wasn't to me, but I think I had one, maybe two roster checks the whole weekend. So if it was a big issue, they should have
So
roster
that's
checked.
to your point. Like, people cry about it, but then they don't want to do roster checks. And my biggest thing is don't open your mouth if you're not going to do a roster check. There's no point of like trying to set the table for the butt whooping you're about to receive because you feel like they have players on your team. If that's the case and that's how you really feel, I feel like you should say something prior to the game so we can
Sure.
address it. We can make sure we take care of it so it's a more even playing field.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a lot of griping, but no action. And I think it kind of goes back to that stigma that players have set up for themselves. And I feel like they're setting themselves up for failure of getting a roster check. You being a pump if you get a roster check. Like, that's some cake stuff if you do a roster check. But I'm just like, at the end of the day, I don't feel like it's cake if you do it at the beginning of the game. I
Right.
feel like it's a little misleading, and I feel like you're doing a disservice not just to your team, but also the opposing team when you wait until the end of the game and you do a roster check. That to me is a little cake. I feel like you're totally within your rights. I feel like you should, in the beginning of the game, if they do not have the appropriate roster, I feel like that you need to do that roster check, man. You need to make sure that they're on point, and you need to make sure that it's a level playing field that you guys are on there.
My favorite is at 21 seconds when they pulled the roster check. So hold on. So let's look through the chat. Shrooms did not play down. They played
There's a
in
lot going
pro.
on.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Uh,
Yeah, Shrooms played in pro.
Shrooms was it? Not only was Shrooms in pro every format, but they also had a second pro team, Team Doomed.
Yeah. So they were in
So
pro.
yeah,
It
I don't know
is
about
looked
that.
down on. I do agree because for me, I'm not gonna roster check you. I'm gonna play if you're out there on the field. I'm gonna play who's in front of me. Um.
Yeah,
Uh.
and I think I'll say this about the stigma of roster checking, Marcus. I think you created the best scenario. All right, if you don't want the stigma of it, just at the coin toss, you say to the captain, "Hey, I saw that guy playing pro yesterday. I just want to I want to give you the chance now to ask him to leave, and let's play out this novice championship with just novice players." And that could be the conversation between the two captains, and not everyone has to know about it.
Right.
And then if the other captain decides, nah, I don't care what you say, He's on our roster. Da 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 da. Then okay. Then so if you choose to play that game, then you have decided you want to just what do they say? I'm going to line up against whoever's
Yeah.
in front of me, kind of deal.
Right.
So I have always I don't shy away from saying this. I did win a championship in Texas with a roster check. I was in the rec division, and we had made it to the rec championship. We were winning starting the second half, and the pro championship had just finished, and three pro players came over to the opposing team sideline and
Wow.
subbed onto the field. And immediately I went over to the director and said, I want a roster check. This isn't right. We're here in rec trying to win a championship. And yeah, they did the roster check at that organization. I had to pay the $50. I paid the $50. And they said, okay, game over. Those three players were on the field. They played a play. Game over. So
Did you get your $50 back?
I did get my $50 back.
Nice.
Hey, there we go.
And I got a ring out of it too. So
Oh.
There we go. Yeah,
So-
I don't have anything against those roster checks. I don't feel like it's one of those deals to where you shouldn't if it's an extreme advantage. I'm kind of in the mindset of Jacob of you put him in front of me, I'm gonna play him. Because at the end of the day, you still got to catch a pass like me. You still got to throw a ball like my team. And you still got to play defense. So I totally get that. I can say that flag football kind of proves that adults will fight over anything.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I've seen friendships go away due to a phantom tug. Like there have been things to where, if I could say in full disclosure, I would never, ever, 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 say some of the things that I've heard come out of some of these players' mouths about other people. that this is a football game, man. And once again, I get the competitive spirit of it, but at the end of the day, we're all adults. A lot of us have children that we look after. We have families that we look after, and there's just a certain level of respect that we expect from one another. So if you're watching this podcast, okay, and you are one of those players that like to talk outside of their mouth, will you please be conscious of yourself and your actions? Because I don't want to see you at the dentist come Monday, okay? Because somebody might knock your teeth out. I'm just saying. Please heed the warning. All right, respect the flag and respect the day.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's something I always would say at the coin toss is like, let's not call each other names, be respectful to each other. But at the end of the day, that game starts and nobody remembers that they're we're all human beings and people will say crazy stuff, and whether to refs or other players and all that. Also, I just want to cover a real quick point as far as roster checks. Jacob, correct me if I'm wrong. It is actually not the ref's responsibility to deal with roster checks, right?
No.
Okay.
Y'all's job is to manage the game. If somebody wants to roster check, the only thing y'all have to do is just tell me that they played. But yeah, so and while we're on the subject, let me just say this real quick because the only roster check I remember, the guy lost a roster check because he didn't have his ID on him.
Wow.
Wow. He probably playoffs. Like this is not your first time playing. The rules are very clear. Have it in your bag. You don't have to carry your wallet. You don't have to carry your, whatever. Just put your ID in your bag. Nobody wants your ID.
This is true.
Just put it in your bag. And when we call for a roster, we call for your ID because you're the one hopping around field to field. Have it available. When you don't have it available, all that tells us is, oh, you're not on the roster. Thanks. I'm not waiting for you to go to your car or go to wherever you got to go to get it. I've done that too many times, trying to be nice and it not work out and just wasted my time. So
Right.
don't waste our time. Have your stuff prepared. Be ready to go. Turn your rosters in online to Event Connect or fill them out at the front, or they've got the paper rosters for you if you need it. So, yeah.
Absolutely. So
I'm off my soapbox. Sorry.
tell me if I'm wrong here. Okay.
You're wrong here.
Oh crap.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Go ahead.
Well,
Just kidding. Go ahead.
well, I mean, I feel like Arlington's kind of become like the mecca of flag football. And yeah, I'm going to say that.
Okay.
I'm going to put it out
All
there. Okay.
Okay.
Now, and when I say that, I am referring to like national tournaments. Now, a world tournament, that's a whole nother shebang. Okay. But when it comes to national tournaments, I feel like it's where the best youth, women's, men's, co-ed, they all come to prove who really runs the sport. You know,
Okay.
we see people come all the way across the nation. And I think one of the biggest things is like, we get to see generational talent. You know, it's not just what's going on now. It's not what's been here, but we actually get to see the future as well. And I think that's something that just like really speaks volumes to like, you know, what we're doing here and, you know, the freaking atmosphere, man. Amazing. Like if I have to be honest, sometimes like the real MVP is sometimes the guy who brings that portable Bluetooth speaker. Because the vibes on the sideline, man, I'm just saying. That's one of those
No,
things to where, huh?
I hate speaker guy.
Oh man.
Say it again. I didn't hear it. I'm
I said
sorry.
I hate speaker guy. I can't ever
Well,
hear
no,
what I need to hear.
it's
I understand what you're
how can you
saying,
say it? It's a double-edged sword,
Yeah.
right? It is truly a double-edged sword. And when I say that, meaning like, you know, if the vibes aren't right, your offense isn't right either a lot of times.
Yeah.
So
No, I agree.
I get it, and a lot of times when the speaker's involved, I'm seeing blowouts. So
Speaker touchdowns. They equal their
yes. So that's the pro
All
to
right.
it. The con to it is the communication factor. Whenever we need to announce it down, whenever we're announcing time, whenever we're announcing a penalty, that's the con of having those speakers there because the communication is a lot tougher. Your voice is gonna be gone at the end of the day, you know. But I don't have an issue with it just because I'm so used to Worlds and at Worlds. If you referee anywhere near that main stage, guess what, baby? It is
The
the
whole
base
time.
house, baby. It is
It
thumping. I'm telling you.
Yes.
They have the vibes up there every time. So, you know, that's why I just kind of say, you know, it kind of goes hand in hand. But I just feel like
so you brought up two very different things there, Marcus. I don't know how they got together. You said you were talking about generational talent, and then the speaker guy, and somehow that became one topic.
But it does work. It does
just
flow. I do like where he went with this.
so you know, I know that you officiated a lot of the women's formats, so I want to talk about that as far as generational talent because that was something I noticed this past weekend when I first started traveling with Flag. You knew who the top teams were. You knew Lady Venom, Academy. You know, you knew those teams, and there was a handful of women's teams that were going to be, you know, in the championship, in the semis every single time. There were teams this past weekend that were right there, right on the edge of winning or making it to the championship. Rise, EFFL. You know, there were a couple other teams that I was amazed by. I'm like, I don't really recognize any of these players on this team,
no.
And they're here competing. You know, they're going touchdown for touchdown with Shrooms, or you know, only losing to the game changer by an extra point, things like that. there was a lot of young talent in the women's division this past weekend. Would you agree, Marcus?
I totally agree. And one of the things that I have to take my hat off for, as far as women's flag football is concerned, is the higher tier and upper tier players reaching back down and pulling up those players that aren't on their level yet, and not having an ego about it. That's one thing that I can say that really blew my mind. The level of camaraderie, the level of sportsmanship. I feel like it really helps to grow their game at a more exponential rate. It's one of those things to where we had a college team out of, gosh, what state were they from? It was a community college team that it came from out of state. And when it came, they had a couple of players on their team that were really nice. And then they had a couple of pieces that they needed to work on. But one of the things that I really, really liked was that those teams that were higher caliber, once the game was over with, they're giving tips. They're giving them support. They're telling them, the things that they did good in the game. So it's like, I feel like those are the types of things that not only bring new players into the game, but those players that are new to the game, it makes them want to dive in that much more. It makes them want to be that much more involved, and it goes from just being a player to now we're out here running camps. We're growing in the new generation of players, and it's really, really great. So I saw a lot of that this weekend, to where we had some players that were on the USA national team, that were reaching down to those lower level players, and giving them a little bit of insight and those tidbits that can up their game and bring them to the next level. So I was really impressed.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I think that's something that I don't shy away from saying. What the difference between men's and women's flag football is the ego. You talk about women's flag football where after the game they're giving tips, they're reaching down, lifting up players. After a men's game, Jacob and the rest of the directors are having to make sure that a fight doesn't happen. It's just such it's so different.
It's a good time had by all.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now don't get it wrong. Like the women can get spicy. They are every bit as competitive as those men are.
Yes.
So I definitely don't want to get things twisted. It's just the respect that they have for one another is on a different level.
Yes, and they're much more tactful with how they approach things.
Yeah.
There's sometimes that you'll have an outlier here or there, but for the most part, if they want to tell somebody to go to hell, they make them feel good about going on the trip.
Yes. I am telling you, they will fill up that gas tank before they ride out. So that is so true.
Yes.
That is so true. And it was like, even like some of the people didn't expect it, and you can tell because of the oohs and ahs. But like, I saw more ankle snatching in one morning than I've seen in probably 10 NFL seasons. Like, I'm not putting this or not putting them on a pedestal or anything, but if you were out there and you were wearing two pair of socks, consider it life insurance, because these ladies were breaking ankles. I am telling you. Just keeping it real.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, the women's divisions were top notch. I mean, I really do think that every team had a chance. I mean, nobody won outside of the contact division. Supreme won both of those, but the non-contact, a different team which won each division. So there was no clean sweeps. There, none of that. I mean, even in men's, there was no clean sweep. So there was a lot of parity this past weekend. Marcus, outside of officiating games, were you able to catch any other formats or any exciting games or you were kind of not, bell to bell for officiating?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I was bell to bell. I didn't get any real downtime this tournament, unfortunately. But to your point, because I did kind of like on the field next to mine, my game had finished early, and I did creep over and watch that. I think it was like a Shrooms game. Um, the sideline arguments are like SEC level drama. Kid you not. And it seems like everybody's a referee, everybody's a coach, everybody's an offensive coordinator. If they're on that sideline, in their brains, they're official. Oh my goodness. Oh yeah, and okay, I'm so sorry, but I have to take the time to put out this PSA. If the other sideline that an official is on sees a call and yells it out, and I see it too, my promise to you, I am not letting that person make the call. We just saw the same damn thing. I am so sorry. But my promise to you is there will never be a time that somebody on that sideline is going to make a call for me. It don't happen. If I don't see it, I don't call it. And I can tell you most of my officials are the same way. So if you guys ever hear like somebody on the sideline saying, oh, hey, how you going to make him make that call? He can't make that call for you. He didn't make that call for me. He got two eyes like I do. And he saw the same thing I did. So I want to make sure that everybody knows anytime you hear a referee call out a call and somebody on the sideline just so happened to see the same thing, they ain't making the call.
We're all on the same page.
Yeah, we were just on the same page for that one instance because I can almost guarantee you he'll say two or three more things that you won't see a flag on. So, I want to make sure I made that PSA, but that's the one thing I did notice when I was watching other games. I know Shrooms is one of those teams that on the women's side and the men's side, they put together pretty decent squads. But I can tell you too, their celebrations are pretty snazzy as well. I almost threw an unsportsmanlike on one of them, but it was too freaking snatchy. Like I wish I had video of it, but it was so nice. I was just like, you know what? They're not mad. They're okay. Let's have a good time.
And I wish more officials had that same mentality.
Yeah,
Marcus, that's what separates you from a lot of other people, man.
Well, I appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir.
I do gotta say, I happened to be, I was live for a game that it was pool play, fives, non-contact in men's. There was a touchdown celebration that Lance shut down. He was good with the beginning of the celebration, and then a player picked up one of the cones to try to, have it be like a baseball bat. Lance said, no.
You do it too much. You do it too much. I can't talk stuff. I actually threw a flag on a celebration as well. Full disclosure. But the person had made a gun gesture at the other player. So I let them know, like, that's where we kind of draw the line in the sand. Like, you're celebrating by yourself. You're having a good time. You're on your sideline. You're doing something with your team. I can care less. But when you start directing it at specific players, I want to make sure that the player doesn't take it into their hands to get retaliation.
Absolutely.
So
yep.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
Yeah, no, most definitely. Well, Marcus, we appreciate you joining us tonight, and we appreciate everything you bring to the game. It's always good to see you at the tournaments, and I just want you to know in the chat they want you to bring the blonde hair back.
There it is. I tell you what, man. The years I've known Marcus is one of he's always had the funnest hair.
Oh, hey,
what's going on there right now?
Wait till Nationals. That's all I'm gonna say. Wait till Nationals.
We just had Nationals.
Wait till Worlds. Wait till Worlds.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry. Wait till Worlds. You're gonna see something familiar but different.
I like it.
All right.
Hey,
Marcus,
fellas,
thank
I
you,
Cool,
brother.
greatly
Marcus. Thank you.
appreciate. Yes, sir. I
You,
appreciate the
brother.
invite. And if you're tuning in, make sure you guys are here every single podcast for The Clock is Running. My boy Ant and Jacob hold it down. Appreciate you, fellas.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you.
All right, man. Y'all have a good one. I'm out.
See you, man. You almost
There we
timed that
go,
right.
man. What?
You almost timed that right. He like put the hat down to cover and then came back out. And like as he was coming back out is when you turned the camera off.
Oh man, sorry.
I'm
I'm
just
just
it's all right.
no, I tried my best. You
Well,
know,
you did.
I put on the black wig a couple weeks ago to try to match your, beginning of the show energy, and
What do you
you weren't
mean?
impressed.
Well, I was. You know what? You didn't wear that to Arlington.
I did. I did.
It's not me that you let down. It's the people. It's all
You
of
know
our
what I
fans.
did?
All
I
three.
did have it in my bag, but then that bag got left at the hotel after the incident that happened Friday morning. So,
Oh.
so
Oh man, what a day! What a day!
yeah. Hey, so there were a couple rules questions in the chat. Just want to bring up real quick. First question is about surviving the ground. The question was, how long has surviving the ground been a part of flag football? That was the question.
1492. I think when the Santa Maria was coming over and Christopher Columbus was on the other ship, there was some guy named Frank who was just writing rules, and he said that you have to survive the ground if you catch the ball. And we just kept rolling with it. Through 2 world wars, 1 Revolutionary War, 1 Civil War,
Yeah.
Vietnam and Korea, and the Cold War, and here we are. No, it's always been a rule. It's always been a thing. Like you do have to survive if you're going to the ground. You do have to survive. Like keep the ball off the ground. You can't use it as leverage. Something I think I'm not going to put this on any league because I'm not certain. And I don't want to misspeak, and I don't want to get turned into a meme. But you can't use the ball to support you on the ground. If the ball touches the ground, it's dead.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
So what's our next question from the chat?
Okay. Well, so this question was in the DMs over the weekend in Arlington. So a drawstring, that holds your pants up.
Okay, like it.
It was pulled out of the pants on the 1 yard line,
Ooh,
but their flag wasn't pulled.
Yep.
And then they proceeded to go into the end zone.
So I would rule them down at the 1 yard line, but there's a contingency to this. Was the drawstring exposed? Or did someone just rip that hard at somebody's shorts, and cause the drawstring to be removed? Because if you rip the shorts that bad and it comes out that way, I'm not calling you down. If your drawstring's hanging out because you've been hooking up and hanging out and not paying attention, and it's just like the part of the belt that if you don't tuck the belt in, I'm calling you down at the 1. That's what I think.
Yeah. My understanding is it wasn't, the shorts weren't ripped. More, it was the drawstring was exposed. They went for the flag. They pulled the drawstring, pulled it out.
Well, that sucks to suck.
Yeah. So anything around the flag area.
Yeah, anything around the waist that's hanging. Now, if I'm running down the field and my sweet Infinite Flag, shout out Infinite Flag, hat flies off, I'm not down where it flies off. My hat's not on my flag belt.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what Is there are leagues that do that though, right? Is that where that
Yeah,
comes from?
I think it's like in the Galapagos Islands or something like that.
Okay, so sorry, they're following back around with the surviving the ground. What if you
Well,
make a football move first and then you fall to the ground and the ball comes out?
still down. You got to keep the ball controlled on like to the ground at the end of the play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's no different. You got to survive
Yeah.
the ground.
Survive.
If you cannot keep your balance, then you're not surviving the ground. So
At all.
yeah. Man, this past weekend we had some really fun stuff happen. I don't know if everyone got their mini clocks running, mini flags. This is the kind of stuff that makes us the number one podcast in the world. Okay, we got mini flags.
Shout
You
out to
know,
our guys over at Shrooms. Shout out Dave Berg for hooking us up, making us, that much more elite. It's a ton of fun. Everybody loved them. I think maybe we could be trendsetters. I don't like being a trendsetter just because that's not who I am. I would never wear 30 medals and, just to wear 30 medals. But I think, like maybe we can start seeing a trend of those. Tell you what, if we're in Worlds and you got mini flags to trade, hit us up. If you don't, hit us up. We got them. Oh man, where did my stickers go? Shut the front door.
Yeah, we got some fancy new stickers, right?
Yep. Check out our guy, the chill ref guy. He's gonna be so dope on whatever cool thing you want him on. Mine is on my bulletin board of fun things.
We also got this one still.
Yep, got Jordan's ugly mug.
Do we want to talk about the collaboration that's about to come out?
No.
Okay, all right. We're not going to talk about it.
Pump the brakes. We got a lot of fun, cool stuff going on in the works. So we, man, if y'all don't quit misspelling my name, especially when it's right there on the screen, y'all are killing me. But yeah, Ant, tell them where to find us, bro.
Yeah, you can find us everywhere. We are on every social media platform. Our mothership is Instagram. That's where we're live right now. All of our reels and
Sorry.
our link to our merch store is on there, and you can on our link tree on Instagram as well. You can find all the other places that we are. Everything kind of as a mothership would flows through Instagram. Most of the stuff you'll see on Facebook or TikTok or Threads or any of those other places.
There's one more place.
X, Twitter. All of those things are probably a duplication of something that was on Instagram. Here on YouTube, we are live, but all of our shows with our ugly mugs are on YouTube. We're closing in on 100 episodes. I think we're about maybe 15 out from our 100th episode. So yeah, we're getting there. But every single one of our episodes, all the way back when when we first started and we were just trying to figure out how to record live and all of that. They're all on YouTube, so check that out. Please subscribe and share our YouTube channel. If you just want to listen to our podcast, you can do that on every possible podcast platform: Spotify, Pandora, Apple, iHeart, Doozer. I don't know. I think there's a couple others that I forgot, but you can find us on any of those. Hey, at the end of the day, support your friends. And if you've seen, me recording live games or hated the way I ref in the past, or you have been somebody that Jacob did a roster check for, or have taken a ride from him from a golf cart, support us. So go on all of those platforms and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It does help us out. We love doing this week in and week out. We have all of our other fun stuff that we do, like what's the call videos. Send us questions about rules. We'll talk about them. We have our rankings, which always brings up controversy. The fan rankings are a lot of fun right now. And then we're looking forward to 5 days in Tampa, and that's what's going to be most exciting. I think Arlington was a good preview of what Clocks Runnin provides for the flag football world. Anything else? Did I miss anything, Jacob?
Yes, you missed one glaring thing. Check us out on MySpace, bro. We're there. We are on MySpace. Yeah, I don't know why Ant wants to hide it. We're proud of it. We do a lot of coding. We have a lot of fun. Our top 8's a little wacky. Tell you what, send us in who you think would be on our top 8 for our Clocks Runnin MySpace page. Let's get that going. Let's see what happens there.
Okay. You know what? If we even get 8 people that remember MySpace, that probably has to be our top 8.
What will you do? No. Because a lot of people are going to remember MySpace.
Here's the thing. I will put, if we have enough people, chime in and say who should be on our top 8, I'll put together the graphic for it. I will put our top 8. We can have Jordan be our Tom, and
first of all, his name is Jordan, not Tom.
Well,
Tom is Tom.
You gotta understand how many young people play flag football that have no clue what
I know. I'm just glad that you guys have to acknowledge that I'm older now.
Yeah. Hey, I do want to take a moment to shout out all the people that have been chiming in on our chat. We've had a lot of people in here tonight, a lot of big flag football players. Nico, we got Tambo and John from Tambo Time, the number 3 podcast in the New Hampshire metropolitan
county. Yeah,
we've had the guys from New Dynasty on, Ant, DK, and a few other. Keys was on for a bit. We've had big time pro players. Corey Webb was in the chat for a little bit. We've had people from the West Coast. We had some of the Bears. We had guys from Runnin join the chat. So I really appreciate just being able to look over and see these names. Please spell Jacob's name right, though. He appreciates his name being spelled right. Just so everyone knows, it is Jakob. So that's.
I forget. My daughter does it in sign language. I can't remember what the K is. So.
Oh, I was wondering what you were trying to do with your hand.
I was trying to. I'm trying to throw gangs. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, hey, check us out, support us. We appreciate you guys. Before we time out, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I think for me, it's just a big time to be able to reflect, be thankful for everything that, we've been blessed with. We've been blessed to have an awesome show and an awesome support system. So that all stems from you guys actually listening to us and, whether you do or not, but paying attention to the show. So.
Absolutely. Whatever you're going with. What do you say? How do you? What's
you
your
want me to sign it
outro?
Hey guys, the clock's been running. Now the clock's ran out. We'll see you guys next week.